Richard, so it's made clear in each report that Alex Cora's role in what happened in Houston was a little bigger deal as to what happened in Boston. And I think you could kind of summarize both cities in saying the same thing. The infractions that the Astros were found guilty of, much more egregious, and as a result, they were hit with stiffer penalties.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a totally different thing. You know, other teams, what the Red Sox are accused of doing is basically what every team tries to do. You relay signs from second base. And I think it was pretty clear in the report. And if you talk to players like JD Martinez, that they were not even aware that going through video, through getting the sequencing of the signs, that was breaking the rules. I think that was crystal clear in the report. It's much different with the Astros. What they were doing, they knew what they were doing was crossing not a line, but probably three or four lines.
What's the discussion like in Houston regarding Jeff Luhnow and A.J. Hinch? Because it seems that in Boston, there's almost an anticipated path towards Alex Cora's return.
Right.
I'm not sure you can say the same about those two gentlemen and Houston, but is there a chance that they work again in baseball for you? And have you had contact with either one of them?
Well, I left voicemails for both. I have talked to AJ Hinch a couple of times, had communications with him. And in fact, he has been working. I don't want to speak for him, but he's been working behind the scenes telling the Astros players, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to be playing for a great man in 2020, Dusty Baker, in that way. Because, you know, the ties between this manager and this group of players was as close as any I have ever seen. I mean, they came up together, they came of age together. I think AJ Hinch has got a really good chance to work in baseball again. He did all he could do. He admitted he was wrong. He gave MLB his laptop. He gave MLB his phone. He answered every question and said, basically, the person I was in 2017 is not the person I am today. I wouldn't do it again. I messed up. And he knows, you know, a lot of things will come up. How does MLB keep this from happening again? Well, and I think Rob Manfred has said this. You look at those players, what has happened to the reputation of those players in Houston. Look at what has happened to the reputation of Jeff Luhnow and A.J. Hinch. If that's not a deterrent, I don't know that there could be a deterrent.
It felt like in reading both reports, and you probably felt the same way, that at least the physical setup of the Houston video room and clubhouse was completely different from that in Boston. And there are,
Right.
limitations in Boston based on the age of the stadium. And it probably ended up paying the Red Sox a dividend that they didn't have
Mhm.
the most technically advanced setup to do all this.
That is exactly right. Maybe the fact that you play in a 100 and something euro ballpark helped you in that situation. And in the case of the Astros, the video monitor was right there. It was accessible, but it was more than that. There was a second monitor set up to allow the replaying of the signs in a more efficient manner. It was so much more egregious, and also everyone knew what was going on. I think in this case, you did have a guy on the video saying, hey, we can do X, Y, and Z. You've heard Mark Teixeira, I think, has said it. You know, we tried something like this one year with the Yankees, but it was too complicated and it didn't work. And even then, you would say, I'm not sure that's breaking the rules. What the Astros did was breaking the rules, and a lot of people had complained, and Mike Fiers brought it out in the open.
Because baseball is in a pause along with the rest of the sports world, Richard, a lot of people feel like once the game finally returns, whatever happened in Houston will be forgiven and forgotten. And the reaction the Astros would have gotten league-wide as villains might, in fact, go away. Is there a sense locally that is, in fact, the case?
No, there's not a sense. You run the gamut. People are hurt. People don't want to believe it. People don't believe it, all those things. And I'm telling you, wait on the players. The players were not looking forward to that first road trip to Oakland and Anaheim. They knew what was going to be waiting for them. You take a team that was sort of inspirational, the way they played 2017, how the city, devastated by the hurricane, had rallied around the team around the city, all of that stuff. And the question I would always get the most of was, are they really like that? Do they really like each other that much? Yeah, they do. And now you go from that being your reputation to everyone in the sport, hoping you fail. I mean, it was weighing on guys. I looked I looked Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman in the eye, and we always talk about athletes' mental toughness. Well, the Astros are going to have their mental toughness tested in a way few athletes ever do.
For you, is the easy answer to this less technology, or are we at a point where that's now a birthright for players and there's no chance you can remove what's already in those rooms?
Yeah, no back step on technology to me, and I think Brian Cashman of the Yankees said it best: is it's right and wrong. We all knew what right and wrong is, and you can say putting the monitor right there behind us, that was too tempting for us. No, that's not going to play. The technology is here to stay. There are going to be more and more ways to cheat as cameras become smaller, microphones smaller, and all that. You have to do the right thing, and I think if you had AJ Hinch on today, he would tell you we didn't do the right thing. He has said that. And all you can do is learn from it. You have destroyed the reputation of your franchise. You have hurt your fans in ways that'll be hard to measure. And all you can do is keep playing and go try to win a World Series and show people, hey, look, we can do it the right way. I think MLB putting a human monitor by the replay screen help some, but it's going to come back to you can do this if you think you have a shortcut that you can get away with. All you're risking is pretty much everything.
Well, no mention of what happened in Boston in 2018 seems complete without talking about what happened in Houston the prior year. For that, Richard Justice of MLB.com. Richard, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Matt.